Well, for those of you who have talked to me within the last 48 hours, know that I got hit with a pretty horrific stomach bug. Um, I got cocky. Everyone else in my family was getting it. And I was like, it started about 2 weeks ago with Benjamin, and then Brandon, and then Samantha. And then we had about a week of nobody. And I was telling everybody, oh, it's this 90-day. It's because it's made me so healthy. I'm immune to all of it. And then Tuesday, it got a hold of Harrison and I both at the same time. But I'll tell you what, like, I loved my body where it was at. I recognized that I just needed to lay low and let it recover and do what it needed to do. And let me tell you, I woke up this morning with I felt amazing. I didn't feel like a hangover of sickness like I've always felt years before, where anytime I've gotten sick, it was like a longer recovery. I bounced back. It's like I think I'm going to be 37. I keep forgetting if I'm going to be 37 or 38. I think 37, but in a few weeks. But I can't even believe how good I felt today. And with the discussion earlier about dairy with you guys, when I made tacos the other night, I was putting sour cream on my kids' tacos, and the smell of it and this is before I even got sick. This is days before I got sick. The smell of the sour cream, it just didn't register the same way. I mean, I was that girl that had a little bit of taco with her huge tortilla of sour cream. I had a sprinkle of potatoes on my sour cream. Like, that's just how I was. I was a dairy fanatic. And I was even talking to Alexis about it today too. She's at work, or else she would totally be on this call. But I said, I feel like now that it's cleared out of my system, I'm not even remotely craving it or attracted to it in any sense. And I think that's phenomenal. And then I just have had a lot of awareness when it comes to some of the foods that I have been eating throughout the years. I've realized that I've never had a healthy relationship with food. It's always been a control thing for me. In high school, I had a little bit of an eating disorder that I feel like I was trying to get somebody's attention. And so I used food to, make that happen. And then going on into my adulthood, food became like a comfort. Anytime I would struggle with anything, I would, find myself in certain situations with food, and that was my comfort. And going through this whole process, not having that comfort and having to process everything and feel how I'm really feeling is incredibly emotional and healing all at the same time. Before I hit spring, I have shared with some of you about having some really rough days of not knowing, what to do, or if I was even going to continue with this program. Like, it's so awful to say that, but I was in this space of like, what is this? But then it's almost like you're climbing a mountain, and you're climbing that mountain, and the higher up you go, the harder it gets. But then you start to get that second or third wind, because you realize what's coming. You start to see that sunlight come over that mountain, and you want to keep going, and you get this extra push and this extra drive. And it's such a beautiful thing when you get to that place where you can look back and you can see all of what you were feeling, all of what you were going through. Like, it happens for a reason. It's so it can strengthen you. I've never, like Janelle, you said you don't think you've ever been healthy. I've never had a healthy relationship with food until now. Like, I really understand what it's like to nourish your body with food and feel good about what you're putting inside of your body. And I had a conversation earlier with Calvin and Christina about wanting to be here for my kids, wanting to be healthy for my kids. Like one of my biggest fears is that something's going to happen and I'm not going to be able to take care of them. And this is the best thing that we can do for our families, is to take care of our bodies and nourish our bodies in a healthy way so that we can be here and enjoy our lives and be there for our loved ones. And Melissa and I have talked about leaving a legacy for our kids. My kids are reaching for bananas and oranges and apples and cucumbers. And, the day that I was sick and my daughter had to pack her own lunch, like I was amazed at what she had packed for herself. And it's just a very rewarding process to be a part of something so huge. I've been in health and wellness for 6-7 years. And the knowledge that I'm gaining, the awareness that I'm coming into, everything that this encompasses is unlike anything else that I've ever been a part of. And when you try to explain it to somebody, it's hard. It's like you just have to experience it. And I'm totally okay with telling people that, because I will put my money on the table. I will say, you put your money up, I'll put my money up. Okay. If for any reason you are not completely blown away by this program, you take my money. That's where I'm at with this program, because it's giving us tools for lifetime. And it doesn't matter where you're at. If you have kept on pace and you're where you should be with where we're at in this process, then I celebrate you. If you have, stepped backwards a few times and then continue to push through and you're on this call tonight, then I celebrate you. It's like, it doesn't matter where you're at in this process. It's your process. You own it and it's nobody else's. And you just have to celebrate yourself wherever you're at. Victoria and I had an amazing day the other day. I drove out to her house. I was running some errands and I just, I wanted to connect with her. I wanted to go and see her. It'd been a while since we'd seen each other. And I got to meet with her kids again. I hadn't seen them in years. Oh my gosh, they've gotten so big. And we went through her fridge and I helped her meal prep some things. And we made kale chips, and she hadn't had kale chips before and she loved them. And, it felt so good to spend that time with her. And just, I just feel like we all can learn something from each other, and we all are strong in our own capacity. And I think that the more we continue to show up together, we build that bond and that strength and that community, and we're going to be able to help ourselves in a big way. But more importantly, we're going to be able to help our friends and our family and our communities in an even bigger way. So that's just my heart. I'm just sharing my heart with you guys, but I'm just really proud of all of us.